Hi, Leo. Come on in, sit a spell. Let's go over your energetic forecast for the month of May 2025. I'm your master cosmologist and the head cheerleader to the stars. I came up with two themes for all of the signs. We'll go over that first, and then we'll cover some of the things that were flowing through before I hit record. And then we'll pull some cards. I'm going to be working with the Goddess of Love Tarot, Oracle of the Roses, and the Lumicella Togetherness Quilt Oracle. And main check, testing, 1, 2, 3. I have to make sure my main is looking Leo-tastic when I do a Leo video, or my Mars and Leo just can't function for you guys. Plus, I have my Durga on her Vahana. Try to pull the lion swag out for you guys. All right, so the collective messages that came through for everybody in the month of May, two themes. The first is horticulture, which I Leo-tastically believe I coined. I've never heard anyone use the word, make up the word horticulture before. And you guys are the sign that rules the heart. This is your cup of tea. Horticulture is a combination of heart plus horticulture. This is the gardening of our soul, the soul garden, tending to our heart first and foremost. And it's also coming through as heart being the center, the core of our culture from now on. It really has to infuse everything that we do. There's more details on my daily that I published today, the 29th, if you'd like to listen to that. But yeah, just essentially really leading from the heart from now on. And the Leos are the ones that lead this charge. You are the masters of the heart. If Leos aren't lovey-dovey or loving, being loving to themselves especially, I was called to grab this card off the bottom of the deck for you guys before I even started the self. If you guys aren't taking care of your heart first, then there's something seriously wrong out in the collective. The second theme coming up in May for everybody is mana. Mana is essentially soul food. This is what feeds the heart. It's the proper food for our heart. I'm going to show you actually. I was just called to grab this, my crystal lion. It feels like when we get feeding the heart mana perfect, the heart is just this crystal. There's something powerful here. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole in this video, but I'll let it percolate. Interestingly, I am staring at another lion on my desk, which is this sexual liberation card. I'm called to bring it over here. But before I dive into any of those distractions, mana is making sure that not only are you eating good quality food to build your physical body, mana is what feeds the soul. Mana is the nutritional quality that nurtures the heart. It makes the heart flourish. This is having hobbies, spending quality time with people you love, snuggling your pets. I've got my kitty familiar up there on her new favorite perch. That's her hangout spot lately. And yeah, also making sure that we are looking at the stars and the sun. There's something here on both ends of the spectrum to make sure that we're getting both types of light into our eyes each day as much as possible. Sun gazing is mana for the Leo clan. It will feed the eyes It'll feed the I. It will feed the self. It will infuse Leo with the most Leonic qualities possible. You guys are solar beings. However, it's just as important to gaze at the moon and the stars and take in the star codes and the Milky Way mana, the mana that also nurtures us. I think I'll just let the sexual liberation card percolate here. What I do glean so far is that it has to do with creativity. And without solar power, there's no juice in our battery. That heart has to be fully charged, or we don't feel like we want to create anything. We don't have good sacral energy. All of the chakras are dull. They're barely blinking. You know, it's like a systems check almost that I'm reading here, where he's got a sun over his crown, ensuring that that light is pouring through the crown too, where it can charge up all of the chakra batteries, all the chakra lights. So interesting, all of the things that are pulling through for the different signs. I'm actually guided to get another rose card to flank this lion. Like, he's a winged lion and he needs two wings. This little squiggle here almost, and the line looks like the wings are taking shape, forming. They're kind of holographic, kind of in production right now. So maybe we are getting some information about how to onboard some new tech, some new body tech together. What else wants to come through for Leo? The father. Okay. So we have the self and the father. Father yourself. As in, where is the God? It's blurry, it's not refocusing. Where is the God but in me? Within me, in my heart. There's something here about firing up the yang energy this month and restoring the true, pure quintessence of Leo, the number one, yang energy, soul fire, solar charge. There's this sense of the wand not being fully charged, especially for a masculine Leo. If you're a male lion watching, getting out naked, I think getting out naked, if possible, in the sun is super good for our sexual organs. Interesting. Let's go for a Goddess of Love tarot card. What else does Leo need to know about May? The opposite, the moon. I'm mostly drawn to the scarab beetle here, where it also has that shape above the lion's head that looks like a scarab beetle. Wow, we're just gonna do camera issues right now, aren't we? Wow. I won't mess with it. I'll just let it be. I used to have a trick in my other office that worked 100% of the time, but I don't have the same visual effect behind me now to focus the camera on. Maybe there's a message there where there's some blur, something can't come into focus because there's not enough light. It's hidden. It needs to be brought into the light so it's not veiled any longer. But I'm definitely getting this kind of solar corona with the beetle and the imagery above the head here, where taking our temple, our physical body, there we go, into nature and moon bathing, sun bathing, star gazing, star bathing, syncs us up with nature and allows some of these genetic, dormant, physical attributes to reboot. It's almost like being indoors and being depraved of solar energy, charging your battery, your heart out in the sun, getting it on your crown and your eyes. These are almost like nutrient deficiencies is what I'm getting here. And it makes the masculine quality in all of us very limp and flaccid and lose that lion power, the lion-hearted quality of a warrior or a protector or an individual in charge of their own self. Really, who's your daddy? Me. I'm my own daddy. You know, there's something here. Let's go deeper. Let's see what else wants to come through. Two of Wands. I think that's amazing. The only way a feline can exist in your temple. This is gonna, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I wish I told the story before I pulled this card because I was gonna tell you a story about cats and temples. It would have had greater impact had I told this story first, but I got sidetracked. At the beginning, I said I was gonna share a couple things. One of them is this. Okay, I'll share both stories. But before I do, let me just grab my point before I forget. There's this quality right now of grabbing the tiger by the tail and reeling it in before you let it go, before it gets away from you, where we do have to pounce on certain things right now. If we don't have that yang energy and we're too lunar, too yin, I feel like some visions, some projects, some creations would pass us by and we would have a lot of regret. So there's this sense of being very yang and hunting that big cat, that big project, and reeling it in before it escapes you. Pulling it into the temple, pulling it into your vessel. Like when you have that creative spark, that vision, run with it then. Stop everything and get it into reality is one of the things I'm grabbing here. Okay, my cat story. So one of my cats you saw is back there. I also have a male cat, and they've recently discovered the outdoors. And it was a hard transition for me because I want to keep them safe and healthy, but I was noticing that they were depressed and they were lifeless and they really seemed sad. So when they snuck outside a couple of times in winter, I let them play for a little while, and then they overcame their fears because they were afraid to go outside at first. Just new territory, comfort zone, leaving the comfort zone, right? Ooh, there's something here with leaving your comfort zone. Leaving your house more, you know, maybe you've been a homebody and spring's just getting you springy like a tigger. But anyway, the more they went out, the more they wanted to stay out. And I realized that I had kind of created an issue where they weren't going to be happy staying indoors anymore. And I had to make peace with them living outside more and what that transition would be. They were just indoors house cats for years. I've had them for a couple of years. But anyway, it just seemed to awaken their wild spirit. And when a cat is in a cage, it has no spirit left. It has no grr. It has no purr. It's a very dull, lifeless, yeah, even lackluster mane. The mane gets dull too, right? So Leos have to be out prowling in the wild. Where's the story getting left off here? The cats, the temple, this card. Okay. So anyway, I've become quite the slave to the cats, and all day now they want in, they want out, they want in, they want out. They're very demanding, as cats are, as you know. And today it was just in excess, where I was bemoaning and giggling to myself, like, have I made myself into a temple of cats, like the keeper, the head innkeeper at the cat temple, and I'm just their biatch and at their bidding, and I'm the doorman, the bellhop, the butler, just in and out, like a revolving door all day. So, want. Tell the good story before the visuals come out, because the magic spell is much more potent when you share the build up, the lead up story. Maybe there's something there with your art too, where you're not making an impact as great as you could creatively. Like the fire's a little lackluster, and all it is a timing thing. I'm gonna grab another card to go on the side. Got a little storyboard building in front of me. And the mane keeps getting pulled into the cards. Interesting. Death. Kali. Durga. There's something here about the leading cause of death being lack of sunshine or lack of solar I think I need a clarity card. I think that it's there and that's the gist of it, but it's not quite coming through. Why is death? Actually, why is this combination here? Yeah, it's Maiden of Wands. It's super important for your kundalini, for your creative juice, for your sexuality, for your hormones, for all the functioning of your body. It's got to be firing on all cylinders. And the only way to fire on all cylinders is to be in the sun, have your battery charged. I am getting this Surgeon General warning, like the leading cause of death is actually hiding from the sun or something. Yeah. Another rose card. It's interesting because the Earth is in Scorpio right now. The sun is in Taurus. So all of these readings have been very deep, and a lot of them have been about ancestral wisdom that's been hidden, biological DNA, wellness information that's contrary to what's out in science or the medical field, you know? And also just bringing up shadows and darker topics out of the depths of Scorpio. So I'm not surprised to see the Scorpio card here, and hearing the leading cause of death is, it's almost like heart failure in a way where, oh, that's another, there you go. That's what you guys embody. One of the leading causes of death is actually heart failure. Not that everybody dies of a heart attack or heart failure, but when you lose your spunk and your spark for life, and you lose your creativity and that Leo childlike wonder, constantly wanting to play. Imagine how you existed when you were a child. You were so excited to get up every single day and play. Like there weren't any agendas, there wasn't a schedule, there wasn't a to-do list. You just felt so much vitality and you had endless energy because you ran around outside and played with your friends. You know? So this kind of is the anti to our very nature of just rolling out of bed, happy to see the sun, happy to run outside with our friends in the sunshine and play. That's a very sad thing to look forward to the next day, is I gotta go work for the man. I gotta go put in 20 more years before I can retire. How disheartening. We need to reinstitute our playful Leo qualities again. Oh, this is the exclamation point at the end of your reading. 𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀, the gardener. You guys lead the charge. You guys are the masters of this. This is your wheelhouse. This is, I'm hearing your circus, like your three-ring circus, where you are the greatest showman. You're the greatest showman. Show us how it's done, Leo. Show us how to fire up and reignite our spark, our solar fire, our solar power, be a heart-based, fierce beast. We all want to emulate you guys. All right, that's what I've got for you for May. I hope it was beneficial, and I will see you in June, Leo. Bye.